We are in one of our live refurbs at the moment, and I thought I'd give you a quick breakdown of the numbers and how we went about securing this one. So this property was purchased on the open market. This is actually our third purchase on the street. We have two across the road in the same block. Now, this deal is actually one for our clients. So in terms of we actually buy the property for adding to their portfolio. We've also added on the service for project managing the refurb for them. And just to give you a bit of breakdown on the numbers, we purchased this one for £52,200. We're looking at a £22,000 refurb spend, and the end value, once the refurb's done, we're expecting to be in the region of £95,000 to £100,000. So you can see through doing that refurb and where they're adding the value to the refurb, which I'll show you later, we've almost doubled, potentially doubled the value from what we've actually purchased the property at. So I'll give you a quick look around. We're standing in the living room just now. The actual overall plan of this property, it was purchased with electric storage heating. So we're actually getting SGN to connect a gas pipe into the property. I'll show you later where the actual gas in the block is, so we can explain the process for how that is actually done to get the property with gas central heating. So we're actually standing in the living room just now, the lounge. So our plan in here is basically to paint all the woodwork white. We'll change the nice door handles here, which are gold. We'll get them updated to nice chrome, modern effect. Walls will be repainted white, and we're going to put a wall-mounted socket here for a TV. Mind the pipes. For a TV to go up in the wall. And as you can see, the plumber's already started fitting radiators into some of the rooms, but still some pipe work to run here. So I'll take you around. So this is lounge. And then across the hallway into the kitchen. So this has all been stripped out just now, as you can see. We're probably around halfway actually through the refurb here. The kitchen's getting delivered next week. So the plan is that we will have base units and wall units along this wall. And then in front of the window, we'll just have base units. So we'll have the sink positioned where you can see the pipework here. The oven and the hood is coming here. And then there'll be a space there's a breakfast bar actually being added onto the end of the kitchen units here, with an integrated fridge freezer positioned here. I'm saying here a lot, but it doesn't matter. And then a dining table can go here. So it's a reasonable sized kitchen for people to live in. So this is a 2-bedroom flat. So we've seen the lounge, seen the kitchen, and also a new radiator to go in there. And then the 2 bedrooms. So we'll go to the one that looks out onto the street. This is where we're actually putting the boiler in. So there's plenty storage of cupboard space that you can see here. So the new boiler's been fitted, pipework's kind of half been done there, and the flue's been put through the roof externally, which needs to be done. So this will be, in terms of the actual work in here, as you can see, you might see in the video, but this is actually wood chip on the walls. So this will all be getting stripped out, replastered, and again, just freshly whitely painted with carpets going down. So fairly straightforward, paint and carpet in here. Nothing too exotic. Change of handles throughout all the doors. And then the second bedroom, which faces out the back, which actually you've got quite a good view of some of the different terraces and the different streets there, which is really cool. Nice day to day. And then pretty similar in here. The walls are actually in pretty good condition. They don't need stripped at all. There's a couple of cracks on these walls that will need touched up, but other than that, general paint throughout and new carpets in here as well. So fairly straightforward refurb for this one. And then finally the bathroom, which is a little bit dark. There's no window here. But if you can pick this up, the bathroom suite is actually in good condition. We've got the toilet out just now because there'll be flooring going down. But what we'll be doing in here is ripping out the wet wall and ripping out the railing with the shower curtain and replacing it with new white grey marble effect with new PVC panels on the roof, and yeah, new flooring throughout. So it's going to be a fairly straightforward refurb for this one. The biggest cost actually is putting in the gas central heating. So if you follow me out the door, I'll explain how that process goes. So if you see up there, see that pipe coming around here? So this is actually the gas up to feed into the flat here, which isn't our one. But as you can see, there's actually a blanked off pipe just above the door there. So what SGN are doing, they're coming in to feed that into our flat. So basically they'll come in through the door here, and then we're going to get British Gas in to supply and fit a gas meter, and then at that point the plumber can tee in from the gas meter to feed the boiler. So in terms of cost for that, you're looking at, we've just paid the bill yesterday, so £508 for SGN to feed that pipe in. You can pay British Gas £10 per month just to set up an account, which is just a direct debit that you set up. Yeah, that's basically all your costs, apart from obviously paying for your boiler to go in. So typically all in, including the SGN costs, the British Gas setup costs, and for your boiler to go in, we're looking at around about £4,500 to £5,000 total, depending on the size of the flat and the number of rooms. So yeah, that hopefully gives you a good idea of the process for actually, if you're looking at flats that have got electric storage heating, how to go about actually getting gas into the building. Another thing to be aware of, if there isn't any gas in the block, you have to try and find the nearest point on the street, so that would be a lot more of a cost, usually double the cost for SGN to actually trench and put gas into the block in general, so a bit more work for them involved, so that's something to be mindful of. So this is a buy-to-let refurb that we're doing for a client. So how I like to work, I'm simple and stupid is how I always say in my training courses. Like to typically put in the same laminate, put in the same carpets, use the same suppliers for bathroom suites, kitchen, etc. And what that allows me to do is get a really good, accurate estimate going forward on any potential future purchases, because I'm using the same materials and going to the same suppliers, and because we're regular customers to them, we can, get some reasonably good discounts and buy at volume. So we've got storage facilities where we buy a batch of laminate, for example, and we can then call it off to each refurb as we need. So in terms of a cost perspective, really good going forward to know your numbers on any potential future projects that you're looking at. And yeah, just about relationships as well with the same suppliers over and over. So I like to keep it simple, like I say, repeatable. It's all about having that repeatable procedures and structures in place. So having the same materials and having the same suppliers is pretty key. Part of my property business anyway, so you don't have to do that. I like wet wall, for example, in bathrooms. Some people like tiles. It's just personal preference, but I found that having that repeatable system based on the laminate in the same colours of walls, for example, it's working. We're getting properties rented out fairly quickly, so in my head, if it's not broken, don't change it. But yeah, everyone's got their own personal take on that. So in terms of the deal sourcing strategy then, so we have regular clients that we work with where we're actively buying for adding to their portfolio. So while we are actually adding to our own portfolio as well, deal trading or deal sourcing, you've never heard of it, is a great strategy for cash flowing extra into your property business, not just relying on your rental income or buy to flips, for example. So deal trading really is finding a deal for an investor that fits their criteria. You're getting paid a fee from the investor for passing that deal to them, and then you can add on additional services like managing the refurb up to the point of potentially passing it over to a letting agent, or if they're planning to sell it, onto an estate agent. So in terms of actually monetizing the deal trading strategy, so you can, at a minimum I would say, charge £3,000 per property deal. So that's purely for finding the deal and passing it to the investor. So that's your fee for finding that deal. And then the add-on service of a project management fee, which could be anything between £1,500 to £2,000, depending on how much work's involved with the refurb. So yeah, I thought it'd be good just to give you a look around some of these projects. You may have seen we run a number of property training courses. So the JMD Property Intensive Training Day, that's a one-day event followed by 8 weeks of support where you get access to a private Facebook group, and also we have weekly Zoom calls with the guys. What we've started doing now is actually getting together once a month to go through live projects and live refurbs for people to get a feel for how the process actually works, how to go about managing different trades, material selections, that type of thing, just to get a bit more kind of workshop style type training, which is personally the way I like to learn as well, rather than just being all theory based. So yeah, if you want to get more information on the training course, you can drop me a message and we can chat, or visit www.jamesducat.com. Cheers.